Good evening and welcome to the City Council meeting for North Bend for May 5th, 2026. Can the clerk please call roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Errol Tremolata.
Here.
Councilmember Brendan Elwood. Councilmember Mark Jocelyn.
Present.
Councilmember Heather Cullen.
Here.
Councilmember Rob McFarland.
Here.
Councilmember Christina Rustick.
Present.
Councilmember Susan Torgerson.
Here.
All are present with the exception of Councilmember Elwood, who is excused, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Will you be kind enough to lead us in the flag salute?
Yes. To the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands. One nation. Indivisible. With liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us on this gorgeous evening. Really appreciate your coming and being a part of our night. Okay, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Tremolata, will you please make a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion to approve City Council meeting agenda for May 5th, 2026 as written.
Beautiful. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, motion passes. Let's move on. I love this so much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Moving on to consent agenda. But before we do, council, does anyone have or wish to pull any consent item off and we can discuss? No? Okay, moving forward. So can I get a motion to pass?
I move approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Yep, appreciate it. And second? Thank you very much. And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes and is unanimous. Thank you again. Let's move on to audience participation. So quickly, moving quickly tonight. If anyone in the audience would like to speak on an item on an agenda or not on the agenda, this is your time to come to the podium and let us know what's on your mind. Deb Landers, she's rocking and rolling.
Hello, Deborah Landers, 14615 438th Avenue Southeast in North Bend. Once again, I'm here for North Bend Art and Industry because we are doing a lot of things and I'm just trying to keep you up to date on just a few of the key items. I emailed you sharing the date for our opening ceremony for the Art and Nature Walk that's going to be on the Snoqualmie Valley Trail. I hope you're all able to make it. This is really going to be a very cool both for tourists and for locals who either walk or bike or jog down the Snoqualmie Valley Trail. And the installation is actually up from July 1st through August 31st. It's also an economic boost for our local artists because their art that they've created will get auctioned off and all of the proceeds go back to the artist. And the rounds that we have accepted so far with the artists that are done are absolutely stunning. So it really is going to be an amazing walk. So please, if you're available on July 1st, I'd love to see you at 7 o'clock at the Center for Creativity. Another reminder for Art Off the Rails, June 20th. And then there is so many other things happening. Just tonight, I popped into the center to bring some flyers that Susie's going to distribute for you. But I popped in and they're doing a speed editing experience for writers. So Gail Folkin, who is a local author and educator, is off teaching local authors how to do editing in a quick and fun way and make them comfortable with it. So it seems like every single night, even though we're not officially open on Monday and Tuesday night, we have something going all the time. And I want you to know about it. And now I'm done talking, but it was great to see you all. Goodbye. I'll be back.
Thank you, Deb. Anybody else wish to speak? Anybody online, Phil?
Not tonight, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. That was lovely. We're going to go right into, number 7, appointments to Planning Commission, which leads it to me. So let me begin. We're doing reappointments tonight to Planning Commission. Seeing that we have none in the building today, we're just going to be reading off the summary statement. Planning Commission prepares and recommends coordinated plans, regulations, and restrictions for the physical development of the city. The commission consists of 7 members, with a minimum of 4 of the commissioners required to reside inside the city limits, and 3 may reside in the 98045 zip code area. per NBMC 2.28.010. Planning Commission terms are for a period of 4 years. Planning Commissioners Chris Coulon, James Bovers, Stephen Matlock, and Hannah Thiel, whose terms expire on May 18th, 2026, have generously agreed to serve for another term. I am recommending the reappointments of Chris Coulon to position number 4, James Bovers to position number 5, Stephen Matlock to position number 6, and Hannah Thiel to position number 7, terms expiring on May 18th, 2030. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yep.
I move to approve AB 26041, confirming the Planning Commission appointments for Chris Coulon to position number 4, James Bovers to position number 5, Stephen Matlock to position number 6, and Hannah Thiel to position number 7, all terms expiring May 18th, 2030.
Thank you so much for that. May we have a second?
Second.
That was Ms. Torgerson. Okay, thank you. Mr. Jocelyn, would you like to speak to your motion?
I thought you did a nice job, Your Honor. We are lucky to have folks like this who are willing to dedicate so much of their time, energy, and attention to being on the Planning Commission. It is legally mandated by the state of Washington that our city have such a body, and they do yeoman's work for which I am certainly forever grateful.
It's wonderful. Thank you for your comments. And Ms. Torgerson, do you have a comment to make?
Yeah, they're all doing a great job. I really appreciate the service, and I'm excited the fact that they want to do it some more. So I'm happy they're going to.
That's wonderful. Anybody else from
Board.
council? I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, but anybody else from council have any comments to make? No. Okay, I'll make a comment that I think these individuals are they're just fine individuals. They're completely dedicated, and we're lucky, of course, that they're stepping up for another term. So it's an honor to do so. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, so all in favor? Oh, let me read it. Excuse me. Motion to approve AB 26-041, confirming the Planning Commission appointments of Chris Coulon to position number 4, James Bovers to position number 5, Stephen Matlock to position number 6, and Hannah Thiel to position number 7, all terms expiring May 18th, 2030. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, one and all. Moving right along again, you're going to hear my voice again because I'm going to be giving a proclamation for Wildfire Awareness Month. Honored to see Chief Aho and Kat Robinson in the crowd today. So let me begin. Whereas wildfire seasons have become longer and more destructive, which threatens communities throughout Washington, and whereas our communities, especially communities including but not limited to our seniors, low-income residents, and those with disabilities and functional needs, have become increasingly susceptible to wildfire with increasing temperatures, decreasing summer rain, and earlier snow melt and this has elevated the need for wildfire prevention and preparedness at both the community and individual homeowner levels. And whereas individuals share the responsibility to help reduce the risk of wildfire while recreating outdoors, whereas human activities such as outdoor burning, equipment and vehicle use, fireworks and campfires are the leading human cause of wildfires, which can be prevented by following rules and laws. And whereas Washington State Department of Natural Resources cited about 85% of all fires statewide were human-caused, and majority of those human-caused fires could have been avoided. And whereas North Bend residents must understand that they need to be prepared to respond to and recover from wildfire by working together to prepare their homes and communities, and that preparedness actions they take on their property not only help their home have a better chance of surviving on its own during a wildfire incident, but also provides a safer space for first responders to help protect homes. And whereas when whole communities implement appropriate wildfire preparedness actions, including evacuation planning, maintaining defensible space on their properties, and home hardening, they improve the survivability of their individual homes and community during wildfire. And whereas local, state, and federal agencies and organizations work together to increase awareness of wildfire risk with the goal of ensuring that communities are prepared for and resilient to wildfire. Now, therefore, I, Mary Miller, Mayor, do hereby proclaim the month of May 26, 2026 as Wildfire Awareness Month in the city of North Bend and encourage our citizens to join us as we participate in wildfire preparedness. Thank you very much. And if I can have you both or one at a time, come on up and speak to us. And we sure appreciate you and all you and your teams do. Yeah. You're welcome. Come around and get a picture with you. Yeah. Oh, of course. Like detail, very important detail. Thank you, Chief. You okay with that? Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. Oh, in the middle here. Okay. Yeah. Feel totally safe.
I mean, I think it meant well. I think it's just a way.
Wonderful humans next to me and their teams that cover our very special. We can't be here without you, quite frankly.
Well, North Bend makes a wonderful partner. So
Thank you very much. And thank you. And if you want to speak, you're welcome to. And if you want to speak at the podium, if you're comfortable. You're a great speaker.
well,
We were talking about this before.
I didn't plan anything, so this is truly as it comes out of my mouth. But that is, what's that?
Same for me. Just kidding.
It's very true. North Bend makes a fantastic partner for Eastside Fire and Rescue. We couldn't do what we do without you either. Response is just one piece of creating and maintaining a fire adapted community. And the city of North Bend has taken a very active role in that creation of a fire adapted community and advertising it, getting that word out and incorporating all different aspects that it takes to create and sustain that. So to that end, I guess I'll make a little plug for our wildfire movie and discussion panel that will be happening at the North Bend Theater later this month on the 18th. So come get some popcorn. It's free and you can chat with a lot of local fire experts who are there to talk about and actually help contribute to your fire adapted community. So love to see you all there. And thank you again very much.
Thank you, Kat. Appreciate it. Anybody have things? Chief, would you like to say anything or you're going to be quiet? You don't have to speak.
Now I gotta say something. So I just want to acknowledge, thank you so much for recognizing the work that Kat and her team does. She was so well integrated into King County, being able to bring that message and education to the city of North Bend. The fact that the city of North Bend and the residents here are being so forward leaning, recognizing that with the weathers that are changing, it's unfortunately just a matter of when. And having that proactive approach just puts the city of North Bend in such a better position. So when we are sending our response crews out here to try to help you, we don't have to worry as much about North Bend because of how you've approached it. So thank you for the partnership. We look forward to continuing to develop this more. So go to the movies.
Excellent.
Thank you. Have a great
so
night.
much. Appreciate you all. All right. Next up is a presentation, Reclaim and Snoqualmie Valley Housing Needs, Miss Jennifer Kirk. Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
for coming.
evening. Let's give this a second. Can you believe we're still standing here after 14 years of us doing shelter? It's just crazy.
Hoorah.
I know some of you from those times when we were first starting out. Yeah, November will be 14 years. Yeah. Okay, so I am Jen Kirk. I am the executive director and a co-founder of Reclaim. We were previously Snoqualmie Valley Shelter Services. And I'm here tonight to talk to you a little bit about Reclaim and what it is that we're doing in this community and how you guys are funding. I won't talk specifically about the funding, but you guys partner with us in that funding for us to provide all of these services. And then I want to talk to you about the state of housing in this community for our folks specifically, people that are living in poverty, people that are actively unhoused right now, but also a lot of people in this community that just can't make ends meet. They're working every day, they're working multiple jobs, and they still can't afford to stay here. So I want to talk about kind of that housing instability and how we're kind of moving backwards a little bit in this community. So Reclaim is a community resource providing pathways to stability, opportunity, and connection. We had a bunch of people that came together in 2012 to start talking about what it would look like to open a shelter in this community. And 42 days after that initial meeting, we opened our first shelter. Had no idea what we were doing, but here we are today. While we still provide a substantial amount of shelter and serve people that are actively unhoused, we've shifted a large portion of our efforts into prevention, which has been really amazing. For anybody that doesn't know, we purchased a building a little over 2 years ago. So we finally have brick and mortar in downtown Snoqualmie. And we provide the first ever community service center for the upper Snoqualmie Valley. This has never existed here before. We named it the front door because historically marginalized community members are expected to access services through a back door. People of color historically have been expected to take food or whatever else is left over from restaurants and things like that kind of in hiding. And we wanted this to be a place where anybody and everybody could walk through the door and feel very comfortable in that environment, whether they're currently housed and struggling to remain housed or whether they're chronically unhoused. We wanted everybody in that space to feel comfortable. And in that space, we provide case management. We have somebody that focuses on helping people sign up for Social Security benefits. If anybody here has ever done that, it is a near impossibility, it feels like sometimes. And so we walk alongside people. We have rental and other financial assistance to help people stay housed. We have laundry cards and gas cards that reduce down those monthly costs, emergency food, baby items, and toiletries. And then people are welcome to come in and access our Wi-Fi, computers, and phones. And just in Q1 of 2026, in that building, in just the Front Door Community Service Center, we had 320 individuals that we served in a 3-month period. And then when you come in our building on the left-hand side is Threads of Kindness. This clothing boutique offers free clothing and household items for anybody and everybody in our community that needs that. They do not need to prove their income level, their housing status, anything. They're welcome to come in. The nice thing too is because we're not just serving unhoused folks, we're able to carry a lot of really nice clothing, a lot of clothing for children. We have a teen section, so feel free to just come in for yourself or anybody else that might need it in the community. And then this program is fully supported by community donations and volunteers, thus the name Threads of Kindness. And then our Shelter to Home program is a motel-based shelter program where we support between 35 and 50 people every single night. We shelter them in the valley. The majority of those motel stays happen in North Bend because you guys have the majority of the motels in this community. We will shelter outside of the valley if we need to do that, if it's an unsafe environment for somebody to remain in, if they're fleeing domestic violence, things like that. So we shifted our congregate shelter that we had for many years. It's all motel-based shelter now. And we now have a 60-day program. We originally started that as a 90-day program, and with the ability to extend people's time upwards of 6 months if they needed that time, if they were actively involved in case management and working with our staff to move through to housing. We have since reduced that down to a 60-day simply because we are turning people away every single day, and we have a waiting list that we're trying to move through. And so we're reducing that down to 60 days, but people can still stay longer if they're needing to do that. And in the first quarter of the year, we were able to move 52 people into permanent housing through that program. So it's hugely successful. And then we have a partnership with the Snoqualmie Tribe, paid through the Department of Justice Violence Against Women, and that's our Resilience Rising program. We focus on supporting individuals that are fleeing gender-based violence, domestic violence, trafficking, stalking. We do prioritize Indigenous and Native females into that program, but we will serve anybody and everybody that needs that service. We just served a single dad and a son through that program and were able to get them housed. That is also a motel-based emergency shelter model. We are able to do a safety plan with people as they're coming in, get a replacement phone and cell phone number for them, deeper, more intensive case management and other support services. And since the inception of that program about 1.5 years ago, we've served 31 households. And then we still have our severe weather shelter. So anybody that was around in 2012, they know that our intention was to be life-saving. We are a life-saving agency before we do anything else. And then we build relationships from there. And so we always want to make sure as we're transitioning into more of a prevention model or into that motel stay model, we want to make sure that we're still tending to the needs of our most chronically unhoused folks, that for whatever reason, either we have not been able to help get into housing or they're not in a position at this point in time to be able to do that work with us. We will always find a place for them to be when there's extreme cold or heat or smoke events. And our intention is to make sure that nobody ever dies outside. So in our building in Snoqualmie, that's the only sheltering that we do in that building. And it's usually maybe 40 nights a year when we have severe weather. Any families we'll place in motels, all single adults come into that space with us just temporarily. And on to the housing affordability in the community. So it is a growing crisis. The last point in time count in King County showed that there were over 14,000 people in our county experiencing homelessness. And it is definitely happening in our community. I think that we as a shelter do a really good job. And we have 2 other shelters in the valley as well. We are that emergency response, but we still definitely have people that are living outdoors. We have people that are living in their vehicles. And living unhoused in a rural community can be so much more isolating and so much more dangerous for people, and much harder to get them indoors once they've been outdoors for a really long time. They tend to become almost feral sometimes just from living such an isolated existence. And then we're also seeing countless people that I consider are working poor. They're working very hard and they just cannot make ends meet, and they're needing that extra assistance. And we have numerous older adults, many baby boomers that are coming to us that are aging into homelessness. They maybe had a spouse that passed away or they can't afford their housing anymore. Many of those folks live in their vehicles and come to us through our shelter to home program. And then for our lowest income neighbors, it is virtually impossible to live here without some level of assistance. And so I really hope that our cities can come together to figure out how to make a place for everybody in our community. We're so much richer for that. Within the city of North Bend, so you guys did your comprehensive plan. I think the latest one was in 2024, showing that nearly half of North Bend renters are at risk. 47% of renters are cost burdened, which is very common. You guys are not, this is not an anomaly. Everybody's experiencing this. And many pay over 50% of their income on housing. That means that nearly half of North Bend renters are one unexpected expense or emergency away from losing their housing. We're actively losing affordable housing options as well. So the Valley isn't just struggling to build enough affordable housing, it's actively losing the housing that we've had available to people as that critical option to keep people from entering homelessness. The Mount Si Motel is a 17-unit property that we've partnered with for many years that is also historically doubled as transitional housing. Leo and Jason that own that have allowed people to stay there for quite some time. They even had a gentleman that had been living there for some time where they brought hospice care into him, and he died in the motel, but in a place that he'd been comfortable in for a very long time. So they have a huge heart for people that are not able to make ends meet. They are looking to sell that property and is currently on the market for $4.5 million. That's a 17-unit property. And then we've just learned that Regency Apartments on Cedar Avenue has also gone live to be sold. It's 11 units. The sale of this property will likely bump rents beyond any level of affordability for the lower income people that are currently living there. We found out because one of their tenants came to us frantic about the possibility of losing housing. I don't know what the specific situation is there, but the possibility is, I think, huge that once somebody comes in and they remodel those will become market rate rents, or at least out of the ability for our folks to be able to pay that rent. And then some of you are familiar with Colonial Square Apartments situation. While this sits in Snoqualmie, we are such a tight-knit community that we really house the same people, we shelter the same people, we kind of go between both communities. So this is a historically low income not registered as a low income, but has been offering low rents for many years, right at Meadowbrook on the backside of the high school at the Four Corners at Meadowbrook there. The property was recently purchased, and rents are going to become market rate rents. 19 low-income households are being displaced with little to no relocation funds. We have tried very hard to work with the new owners of that property. They were not interested in doing that, unfortunately, and so Northwest Justice Project has now been involved. They are representing numerous clients on that property. And we are supporting numerous clients that are there and helping them to find replacement housing. Unfortunately for these folks, we have not found one property in the valley that allows them to actually stay here. They are moving away from their children, their grandchildren. Some of them are even having to relocate out of state. And then King 5 News has covered the beginning of this situation, and I believe we'll likely have them out later on this week with some other things that are happening. And then the 230 Main project, I know I don't have a lot of information. I came to the open house, which was really wonderful, but I know that there were community members that were really concerned about the parking situation. This project, as you guys all are well aware, 40 units of long-term housing affordability that would meet the 60% median income. Thoughtful planning can address the parking situations, and I really, really encourage the city to prioritize people over parking and ensure that people have that safe, affordable home in this healthy community and healthy environment for people. And then what can North Bend do? So please ensure, to be able to protect the properties that we already have and the ones that we're starting to lose, ensure that city policies consistently lift up and protect our most vulnerable community members, preserve low-income housing now before it's all gone, continue investing in prevention like you do with us and many other nonprofits in the community, and then support well-managed permanent supportive housing units in North Bend. And I say well managed because I am of the belief that we can build any housing that we desire. We can make it so beautiful and tend to the needs of the people that are needing that housing. It just needs to be managed well. So when you hear of other communities in this valley where there's a lot of response from first responders, things like that, specifically Panorama on the Ridge, that was originally supposed to be supported on site, and it was supposed to be run by Imagine Housing. Something happened, and then a for-profit agency came in and took away all supportive services that were supposed to be on that property. So please focus the energy on the support that can be offered and not the criminalization of the people that are living there. And then to protect renters. So I'll be talking to the city of Snoqualmie and Carnation and Duval about this as well, really asking the cities to require longer notice periods for building sales and redevelopment, implement rent stabilization policies that go even further than what the county is implementing or the state is implementing at this time. To prevent large rent increases, require significant relocation assistance when tenants are displaced. The city can require people that purchase these properties to provide tenants with relocation dollars. They cannot leave without that money. They don't have it. And then support right to return policies after redevelopment whenever possible. And then allow more housing types. We're going to be diving in. I facilitate what do we call an attainable housing group in the community. And we're talking a lot about ADUs and DADUs right now as a possible option. So just know I'll be circling back. Supporting just getting creative with our housing because we all know that building housing and building affordable housing is extremely difficult and sometimes feels really impossible. So let's get really creative and outside the box. ADUs, duplexes, triplexes, cottage houses, and then remove excessive parking requirements, owner occupancy rules, complex permitting, anything that you can that is a barrier that is really an unnecessary barrier. Just ask that you lift that. And then in closing, housing stability is the foundation of a healthy community. Housing is a human right. Without housing, people cannot recover. They can't focus on anything else if all that they are doing is surviving every day, whether they're out on the streets or they're barely housed, but having to work 2 or 3 jobs in order to stay housed. So thank you for your time. Together we can do amazing things, and Reclaim is always here to partner along the way. And I put my contact info there.
Jen, can you hang on for a moment and I can ask council if you have any questions
Yeah.
or comments to make? Council, do you have any?
I do.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Rustic.
Thank you, Jen, for coming. Appreciate it. I learned some additional things that I know you had just come to public health and safety at the end of last year. So this was great presentation.
Yeah.
The first quarter of 2026, I think the number was 52 that you found permanent housing for, which is fantastic. What kind of housing do you typically place people in? Are they the examples that you talked about, the Mount Si Hotel, the Regency Apartments, or is there something else? I'm trying to understand
Yeah.
like the best solutions for what you're trying to.
So often, I didn't look at the stats before I came to see how many of those people were able to remain in the valley, but I can tell you that likely all of them, if not nearly all, just nearly all of them had to leave the valley in order to get housing. And so we partner with HopeLink in their housing programs. We partner with Plymouth Housing and have contracts at their new Redmond location and then also at the Eastgate location. We've housed 9 people at that Eastgate location that are all still housed there, and that's a permanent supportive housing project. So if we ever want to tour something like that, we can completely do that. Some people are going into their own, are able to afford, once they're able to stay with us and stack some money and get a better paying job, they're able to actually afford market rate rent if it's a small studio or maybe a 1-bedroom. We have people that are moving into assisted living. We have partnerships with assisted living homes that are outside of the valley. Unfortunately, many of them are down south. And then we also, whenever possible, we partner with the Senior Center Housing Incarnation as well. They don't have a lot of openings usually. We're trying to swoop up their 1 veteran unit right now. Yeah. So no AD and none of the other options that we talked about. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments, council? Rob, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Long time.
I know.
And, 14 years from a few nights of shelter in the coldest of weather to the program that has been built over the years. And I'm certainly learning the breadth tonight more than I had realized in the way it's expanded the last few years. So congratulations for that amazing work. And yes, I hear you, as I know my colleagues here are hearing you, on how much more there is to do. And, as you made a few comments about the 230 Main project, and, just today we're being updated on the unwinding of that and the frustration I know that I feel, and I know my colleagues feel. For me, I'm out of answers, and even ideas, and so thank you for providing suggestions, and hopefully we can find a way to act. But the inability of us to find a way to help with the attainable housing is just so frustrating. So thank you for sticking with it. Thank you for all the growth that you've shown in the organization and in your leadership.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate your support. We couldn't do it without you.
Thank you. Thank you, council member. Any other council members wish to speak? Well, I'll just say, Jen, I've known you quite a long time now, and I've watched how hard the efforts that you've had to go through to get where we're at today, and the need is still growing. It's growing faster than ever. It's my expectation of understanding. I also want to let you know that your team is exemplary, so please let them know how much we appreciate them as well.
Thank
And,
you.
thank you for your leadership as always.
Thank
And
you.
We'll try to find some way to help. This is a very conscientious and caring council. So
Wonderful.
thank you. Thank you for coming
Thank
tonight.
you.
All right, moving on to introductions. Item number 10, AB 26-042, motion accepting King Conservation District grant for tollgate forest restoration. Mr. Mike McCarty.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
the city of North Bend is a member jurisdiction of the King Conservation District. And as a member jurisdiction, we receive an annual allocation of funds that can be used for various conservation and natural resource improvement projects. With those funds and with other grants, we built a long-standing relationship with the Mountains to Sound Greenway Trust to provide habitat restoration projects up and down really the entire city of North Bend, principally focused on riparian areas and principally along the South Fork Snoqualmie River. So this is the latest in a series of many projects. And this first one that I'm bringing you tonight is a project specifically at Tollgate Farm in the forest area of Tollgate Farm to provide restoration along about 3,000 feet of both banks of the South Fork Snoqualmie River. So this is continuing the work that was started with a 2023 cooperative watershed management grant and provides removal of extensive invasives, including Japanese knotweed and holly and ivy that diminish forest health, and planting of approximately 2,300 native trees and shrubs. So the motion before you tonight is to accept $24,625 from the King Conservation District for a grant to provide this restoration project.
Thank you, Mike. Council, do you have any clarifying questions for Mr. McCarty? Oh, Ms. Rustic.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Maybe I didn't read this correctly. So this is accepting a grant. And then on, page 33 of the packet, there's a list of total matching funds and it says optional. So by approving this acceptance of this grant, are we also authorizing the matching funds?
Or matching funds in this case were previously allocated by council with the acceptance of that 2023 cooperative watershed management grant.
Okay, thank you. I'll probably ask the same question on the next one because I was really trying to understand that, but thank you.
Anybody else from council have any clarifying questions from Mr. McCarty? Nope, seeing none. Okay, Ms. Torgerson came through your committee, CED, so please make the motion when you're ready.
Could I ask one quick question first?
Oh, sure.
When did council approve that? Like, was that recently or?
That probably, Jamie, I think probably brought that through. I'm guessing that would have come through in 2024 if it was a 2023 CWM grant.
Okay, I was just curious. Trying to track on the timeline. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, take it away, please.
Motion to approve AB 26-042, authorizing the city to accept a $24,625 from King County Conservation District Member Jurisdiction Grant and authorizing the mayor to execute and administer an agreement with KCD for tollgate forest planting.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Colin. Ms. Torgerson, would you like to speak to your motion?
Well, we always like grant money. And when it's making our mountains look more beautiful, how can you say no?
Well said. Ms. Colin, you have anything you'd like to add?
Councilmember Torgerson stole the words right out of my mouth. Who can say no to grant money and making things nicer? So I do approve of this.
Okay, great. Anybody else on council have any comments they'd like to make? Mr. Jocelyn.
Just briefly, these things come through committee, and part of placing such items on the main agenda is to air them and bring them forward as positive net benefits to our community, and the receipt of grant money is always a good thing. And so that's part of the conversation that happened in committee, was to place both this and the next item on the main agenda, simply such that it can be brought forward, and our constituents are aware of such efforts and the efforts of staff. And clearly it doesn't happen overnight. These things do take time. I want to acknowledge staff and their foresight, as always, in pursuing these sorts of opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jocelyn. Anybody else wish to make a comment? Seeing none. Okay, motion to approve AB 26-042, authorizing the city to accept $24,625 from King Conservation District Member Jurisdiction Grant and authorizing the mayor to execute and administer an agreement with KCD for tollgate forest planning. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, one and all. Our last item of the evening, number 11, AB 26-043, motion accepting King Conservation District grant for Ryberry Creek restoration. Back to you, Mr. McCarty.
Thank you, Mayor. So same grant program, same project partner, different project. So this would be a King Conservation District grant for $32,000 along Ryberry Creek. So this is an area between Ryberry Creek and the South Fork Snoqualmie River along what we consider the Nintendo Reach. So basically adjacent to the Nintendo property. And this is continuing the work that was started with a 2022 Cooperative Watershed Management Grant for this same stretch. It was also matched at the time with $50,000 in tree mitigation funds from the city that were committed to the overall project. So this is continuing work further upstream along the South Fork Snoqualmie River. This is a project site that's principally characterized by extensive blackberry thickets. And by planting native vegetation and removing the blackberry thickets, we're really improving the habitat and shading along both the Ryberry Creek and the South Fork Snoqualmie River. So this is member jurisdiction funds, no additional cost to the city, and a great project.
Thank you, Mr. McCarty. Any clarifying questions for Mike from council? Seeing none? No? Okay, Ms. Torgerson, this is again from CED Committee, which you're chair of. Would you make the motion, please?
Certainly. Motion to approve AB 26-043, authorizing the city to accept $32,000 from the King County Conservation District, boy, I proved that one, member jurisdiction grant, and authorizing the mayor to accept and administer an agreement with KCD for award for the South Fork Snoqualmie River and Ryberry Creek Habitat Restoration Project.
Oops, can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Ms. Torgerson, would you like to speak to your motion?
Well, it's no cost to the city. And again, we're getting value add to the city in our areas with this grant money. So it's a no-brainer for me.
Excellent. Ms. Rustic, would you like to say?
I'll just add that, I appreciated the pictures because they really spoke volumes about the work that was being done, and agree with my fellow council members that this is something that continues to make our community a great place to be. So thank you.
Excellent. Anybody else in council have any comments for Mike? Or anything? No? Okay, motion to approve AB 26-043, authorizing the city to accept $32,000 from the King Conservation District Member Jurisdiction Grant and authorizing the mayor to execute and administer an agreement with KCD for award for the South Fork Snoqualmie River and Ryberry Creek Habitat Restoration Project. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's a resounding favorable answer to all. Thank you for that. And we are going to move on to Mayor, Council, and Administrative Concerns and Initiatives. Ms. Torgerson, would you take it away tonight? Please.
Sure. Okay, thank you, Mayor. First, while we often look to tech for innovation, one of Washington's greatest breakthroughs grew from our own soil, the Cosmic Crisp apple. Developed over 20 years at the Washington State University, this cross between the Honeycrisp apple and the Enterprise apple is a marvel of modern pomology. Exceptionally crunchy, perfectly balanced, and slow to brown. The name comes from the tiny little light spots on its deep red skin that resemble a starry galaxy. This superstar represents a deep commitment to our local economy. Because it was funded by the state taxpayers and farmers, the Cosmic Crisp remains exclusive to Washington growers until 2032. North Bend plays a vital role in this global journey. Bred for durability, these apples are built to survive the long ocean voyage to international markets such as Vietnam. As they travel from central Washington orchards to the Port of Seattle, they roll directly through our community. Every refrigerated truck heading through our town is likely carrying the fruit of Washington's labor to the rest of the world. So the next time you're at a local QFC or Safeway, grab a taste of this Washington original and take pride in the fact that North Bend is the gateway for a cosmic success story. That's my first item. Also, that apple's my favorite apple, by the way. My next two items are about providing reports to the City Council. One is regarding procurement reporting. As we talked about at the April 7th council meeting, the city procurement policy section 1.5.3.1 mandates any contract signed under the authority must be reported to council monthly, including the firm name, services provided, and the amount awarded. And I know we had talked about that, and I was wondering if the city had started working on that, or if we're getting any sort of feedback on when that might be happening.
Thank you, Martin.
Martin Shaw, Finance Director. No, we haven't started that yet, Councilwoman. It is on our list. We've just been swamped in preparing for the city budget.
Do you have like an estimated time?
We'll try to get it within the next couple of months.
Couple months? Okay, and then I had my other questions, probably for you too, Martin. I really am interested in the personnel costs. In December, we got that personnel budget versus actual personnel report. Thought that was really helpful, and I'd really like to see that report. I know you gave me another report you guys had been working on, but the one we received in December was a one-pager, and it had to do just with personnel costs. So I was hoping to get a copy of that. And I was wondering what's the timeline on that as well.
Well, let me look into that. I know I prepared a budget to actual report for you.
Right. And that wasn't what I wanted. The one you gave me in December, or all of us in December, that was the one I was looking for, which was awesome.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Colin.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Rustick.
I just wanted to share, in my neighborhood and in many neighborhoods I've seen on social media, there's been a lot of conversation about solicitors going door to door, and particularly extremely aggressive solicitors that are coming at all hours of the evening and interrupting kids sleeping and that type of thing. So I checked with the city, and there are no solicitor licenses right now within the city of North Bend. So if you have somebody that comes to your door, let them know that they do have a license to perform work in the city of North Bend, but they do not have a license to solicit door to door, and that they need to do that in order to be in compliance. If they continue to come door to door, I was told by the city, and sorry, Chief, that they could contact the non-emergency police line to try and get resolution, and hopefully that'll change their behaviors. I know it happens frequently during the spring and summer, so this isn't a one-time issue. Thank you.
And if I can add, those solicitors that do come to people's homes, they need to show their credentials, so to speak. So thank you very much. That's an interesting, didn't know that was happening. Thank you for alerting me. Okay, we're going to go to Mr. Jocelyn.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, just earlier this evening, I had a very aggressive solicitor come by, to bug removal and rodent removal, and got around fairly quickly to asking the question of what questions I had for him. And I said, how soon you'll get off my porch and let me get on with my evening. And that wasn't enough. I had to go 2 more rounds, just suggesting that I wasn't interested in the services he was offering. And certainly I should have said, do you have a solicitor's license? So there's that. The other thing, there was a recent piece published in the Living Snoqualmie suggesting that the city is facing a 2027 budget deficit. And as far as I'm aware, the finance director, no such thing has been predicted. The city is not broke, and we are not facing a budget deficit. I know staff pays close attention, as does council, to the city's finances. I have a concern for staff retention, and that folks don't begin to be worried, and similarly for constituents. They read something in the paper that suggests the city's facing a budget deficit next year, and that provides grounds for concerns, especially if it's misinformation and it's wrong. So I encourage all of us as council to be mindful with the words we use because words matter. That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joss and Mr. McFarland.
Thank you. I find inviting them to weed gets rid of them pretty quick. It was occurring to me a very light, so to speak, agenda this evening, which citizens listening might be thinking, wow, not a whole lot going on. Coming to council from the administration over the next few months are some rather impactful choices for the city regarding land use, tax collections, and how those things are applied. So I'm encouraging citizens to watch and read carefully the choices being presented to all of us, and be sure and provide your feedback. Beyond that, as I've committed myself to doing, sharing with you, and you may not feel that way still, but songs from the past that apply to today. One of my favorite Southern singers, Nancy Griffith, wrote in 1989, "It's a hard life wherever you go." And I'm going to read a couple of lines from that in light of some of the things going on in the world and the way I know that some of those folks outside of the U.S. are wondering about us. And some of this does sound like me. I was a child in the 60s. Dreams could be had through TV with Disney and Cronkite and Martin Luther. Oh, I believed, I believed, I believed. Now I'm in the backseat driver from America, and I am not at the wheel of control. I am guilty. I am war. I am the root of all evil. That's the way I'm ending up feeling these days, and it's a terrible way to feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Tremolata.
Sure. A couple things. Thank you, Councilmember Rustic. I just had that discussion with my neighborhood and HOA, so I will relay that information. Little League season is in full swing. The parks are full. Keep an eye out. Come out and support our baseball and softball players. It's a great time. Weather's been great. So enjoy the spring. And I also want to continue the conversation, as I have throughout the year, that in the United States, roughly 23% of adults, nearly 60 million people, experience mental health issues annually, with anxiety 19.1% and major depression disorders 15.5% being the most common. Talk to your friends and family, reach out, have that cup of coffee. Mental health matters. Don't let the hard days win.
Mr. Henderson, who's acting as our stand-in for Amber. And thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
I just want to say congratulations to the planning commissioners who were reappointed this evening. They've got a lot of, I think, good work and projects coming up ahead of them. So look forward to working with them on that. And just want to say a big thanks to the mayor, council, and my fellow staff members for supporting me while Amber's been out, and really just appreciate all their support and help. So thank you.
Well, we certainly appreciate you. Let's see. Join me for my meetup with the Mayor series, where residents are invited to stop, chat, and ask city-related questions that are important to you and connect. I'll be at Huckstadter Coffee tomorrow from 5 to 6 p.m. The always popular Sip, Suds, and Sigh event is happening on Saturday, May 9th from 6 to 9. Grab your friends for a self-guided evening of tasting and exploring the charm of downtown North Bend. For more information, check out the community calendar on the city website. Police Chief Ed Hall, who's sitting very calmly and quietly in the back, thank you for being here, by the way, invites residents to join him in community conversation about local public safety and the city's new police department. Please stop by for 2 opportunities to connect on Wednesday, May 13th at Prest on Main from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or at Blackwater Brewing from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Additional meetups are scheduled if you are unable to attend. Please check the city's calendar on your website. And the yard waste recycling program, which has been highly successful so far, so we appreciate the community using this, will be held Saturday, May 9th from 8 a.m. to noon at Public Works. Those attending are asked to use the Public Works entrance off of North Bend Way. The program is open to select Saturdays through October and is available to all who reside in the 98045 zip code area. And just want to congratulate the planning commissioners again for re-upping, if you will. We appreciate your hard efforts. And just want to let you all know that I'm going to be gone on the May 19th City Council meeting for it's a retail trade show, the largest in the nation, held at where? Las Vegas, of course. So I won't be seeing any shows, but I'll be watching a lot of shows on three layers with James Henderson over there, our very fine CED director. And we hope to create some great relationships out there to boost our economic development going forward. That's the goal. And meanwhile, Mayor Pro Tem Tremolata will be chairing the meeting on my behalf, and I have great hopes, and I have faith in you, so it'll be a great night, I'm sure. And sorry I'm not there. And happy Mother's Day on Sunday. Yes. To all the mothers out there, however you come, I hope we're going to have great weather for you and you have a wonderful time with your family. Please enjoy. Have a great night, and thanks again for joining us tonight. And thank you, our legal up top in the Zoom area. Thank you. I didn't get to say hi to you. Thanks for joining us, Kendra.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. And can I get an adjournment, motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Oh, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you. Motion is adjourned. Thank you all.